Ladies and gentlemen, live from Lima Shenanigans of 1977 is Wednesday or Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite or Collision Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings of AEW All Elite Wrestling action, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 2633 of the show. That is right, and just finished watching Collision. I'm also finished watching the World Series game in Game 2. Dodgers even up the score after Toronto trounced them in Game 1 using a pitcher from started the season at Single A Ball Club. Imagine if you're a Single A pitcher, and then you go to the World Series. I'm sure Troy Yesavage must be sitting down going, what in the heck happened to me? You know, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? I think he was the first probably pitcher to start his season in Major League history, to start his season in Single A and make it to the World Series Game 1 starter. That's got to be some kind of history in the making right there itself. But, my digress, we're not talking baseball here, folks. We're going to talk some wrestling. AEW Collision, Fallout from WrestleDream Part 2, as I like to call it. And as you know, you'd be thinking, well, it's 11 o'clock, Eric. You usually wait to take a shower. I don't need to take a shower. I took one this morning. Took advantage of the fact that my parents went out. So I said, okay, I'm going to take a shower. And I did. And so, I already did my laundry. As you know, my bed is not made yet. I'm going to have to do that when I'm done this video. So, yeah, be patient with me, folks. Oh, man, it's been a long day, long week. I'm glad it's over. We have a brand new week to start and everything else. And it seems like the internet's working fine after that. Because the internet, here's how this all crazy week started. You got the internet going in and out, Wi-Fi, and then you got my computer's been running a little slow, and then all of a sudden, but then it started running back up. Then you got my monitor went out when I was trying to do my card sharks video, and we ended up getting a new one. Bada bing, bada boom. Here I am. That's for sure. And very, very happy about that. So it's been, like I said, it's been a crazy week for me, dude. Very crazy week for me. Well, I'm glad it's almost over. You know what I mean? Oh, here's the bright side. Last year on this time, I didn't have much of a voice. Take a look now. You know. Anyways, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about AEW Collision. It kicked off, Hangman Adam Page kicking off Collision, and he's not a happy dude. And who to blame him? After he was trying to be nice to Samoa Joe, he said, listen, I owe you a title shot. You've helped me out against Death Riders. You made sure this title's away from the Death Riders. Since you do, I want to give you a shot at it, and I'll give you a shot at the title. And he says, now to Katsuyori Shibata and Powerhouse Hobbs, he made an enemy out of me, and the last thing you want to do is that. So, and then Pac addresses the slide that the Death Riders have been in between their loss on Dynamite, and also John Moxley's like, said, we got to keep going. This is a marathon, not a sprint, so here we go. And that led to Tomohiro Ishii of the conglomeration against Pac. As you know, the rest of the Death Rider crew, Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia got involved in the match of causing Tomohiro Ishii to lose the match against Pac. Pac ends up winning. Then the rivalry renewed from Stardom. As you know, Tekla, who is now part of the Triangle Madness along with Sky Blue and Jilly Hart, the Sisters Ascend, going up against the gorgeous, curvaceous babe, Mina Shirakawa. I love Mina Shirakawa. I can't believe she's only 37 years old, and she looks young. She looks younger than that. She looks like she's 27 or even less. She's gorgeous. I love Mina Shirakawa. Between her, Tony Storm, and Harley Cameron, if I had three of them in a hot tub, let's just say this, I would have a great time. I'd Hikaru Shida just to take Gary off. But But I digress. But first things, if I want to look good for the ladies, I got to get a haircut. And now we see. I think the first, paycheck I get paid in November, this hair's going to get cut for the holidays, folks. So I'm going to wait until November to do that, so I can have some fun and so I can get it cut and make some more AI pictures of me. Okay. Anyways, yeah, Tekla and Mina Shirakawa went at it, but Julia Hart and Sky Blue appear at ringside during the match and got involved, and Tekla ended up locking Mina Shirakawa in the death trap, and Mina tapped out. That could hurt the momentum with her and Toni Storm. So, going into the women's tag team title tournament, as you know, they will be facing the team of Alex Windsor and the inaugural women's champion Riho in the first round of the tournament. So, and as you know, the Sisters of Sin lock up against Queen Amanada and Jamie Hayter. And then you have the Babes of Wrath. That would be the team of Will Nightingale and the lovely Harley Cameron going up against the all-champion team of Ring of Honor Women's Champ Athena and TBS Champ Mercedes Moné. Meanwhile, on the other side, TJ will be taking on Divine Vanity. That will be the team of Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. So that's going to be an interesting feud. And remember, it's the quarterfinals starting this coming Wednesday as Jamie Hayter and Queen Amanada take on Julia Hart and Sky Blue in that matchup. Speaking of women's tag teams, Lexi Nair interviewed TJ as they're getting prepared for their against Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne, but a new team has interrupted them. The former Tegan Knox, Nixon Newell, and Miranda Elise, who took part in the Mae Young Classic, as well as Nixon Newell, decided to issue a challenge to TJ. So could that match happen? We'll find out as in the weeks to come. Meanwhile, the MXN TV casting call, in other words, open challenge, still continues. It'll be Taya Valkyrie taking on CMLL's Olympia, and defeating Taya Valkyrie. Ace Austin took on Brian Keith, the bounty hunter, and Ace Austin ends up winning that matchup. Meanwhile, Lexi Nair interviewed Don Callis, and he knows the tension between Konosuke Takeshita, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and Kazuchika Okada, the AEW Unified Champion. He says he'll call a Don Callis Family Summit this coming Wednesday. It'll be very interesting to see how this happens. Lexi Nair interviewed the Outrunners and Dalton Castle as they were looking forward to try to get the trios titles, but they were interrupted by an arguing former acclaimed partners, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. And, Outrunners trying to tell them to chill, and they said they don't care, and they were walking their separate ways. Meanwhile, Hook went one-on-one with Griff Garrison, one-third of the frat house, alongside Cole Carter, Preston Vance, and actually 1/4 with Jack Jameson, and Hook ended up winning the matchup, and he'll be part of a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender for the AEW World Title at Full Gear, facing Ricochet, Samoa Joe, and Bobby Lashley. And then Olympia addresses Mercedes Moné as she challenges Mercedes Moné for the CMLL Women's World Championship. That match will happen next Saturday on Collision. Meanwhile, Queen Amanada and JD Hayter and the Sisters of Sin talking some smack about who will be advancing in the first round of who will be the first team to advance in the women's tag team title tournament, which starts next week on Dynamite, this coming Wednesday, actually. Then there was the $400,000 tag team, 8-man tag team matchup. Jurassic Express, that's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, who already won $500,000 already, and teaming up with Jet Speed as they took on FTR and the Young Bucks. Before the matchup even started, there was somebody hitting a beach ball, And they were hitting the beach ball around. Jack Perry decided to have a little fun with the fans and get into it. Well, the fan hit the ball so high, Jack Perry missed it, and one of the Young Bucks kicked it to the point where it went up in the roof and it bounced down, though, in front of the feet of Cash Wilder. Cash Wilder had used a chair and deflated it. It was too funny to see, you know. They're like, oh, we kicked the ball in the air. Uh-oh, went down. Cash Wheeler goes, I'll solve this. You know, I think Cash Wheeler did his worst version of Bob Stanley of the Red Sox. They're using a rake. He used that steel chair, flattened out the beach ball. So, and then he proceeded to tear a sign and blow his nose in one half of the sign. It was so funny. And in the matchup, though, craziest match I ever seen. Jurassic Express and Jet Speed won the $400,000. So basically, if all the money went to Jurassic Express, they'd be almost millionaires. And then after the matchup, Jack Perry gives the Young Bucks $100. Too funny. Could have given him $1. That would be even funnier. Well, that is it. That's all the time that we have on this show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And that is it for me for the rest of the night after I upload these videos. I'll be making this bed and getting some sleep because I have church tomorrow. So I will see you guys later. And you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. And until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, I always have a blessed night, I should say. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, before I end this video, I'm asked to go on and do another Patriots live reaction. As you know, they'll play against the Cleveland Browns, who come off a big, huge win over the Miami Dolphins. And the Patriots came off a huge win over Mike Vrabel's former team that he coached, the Tennessee Titans. And as you know, right now the Patriots have sole possession of first place. It depends on what the Bills do against the Atlanta Falcons. So that'll be it for tonight. And until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and door for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.